Hello, I'm so sorry. I think I'm a few minutes late, but Facebook have changed it all again. I swear they do it just to upset me, and change the editors every single week when I want to come on and do Facebook Live. Anyway, I'm up and running, and thank you for bearing with me. I haven't even got my watch on. So today, thank you so much for responding to the poll that I put out earlier this week. And today we are going to be focusing on what you would like to hear about, which is all about focusing your thoughts and being mindful. So I'm just going to do a brief introduction because I know it's been a couple of weeks since I've done a Facebook Live and properly introduced myself. So I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Ali Mortimer. I am the founder of Heal Yourself Happy. I'm a health and happiness coach. I'm a mindfulness coach and a meditation tutor. Hi, Claire. Thank you for joining me. And I work with highly purposeful people who have taken a little bit of a life hit. So something has come along in their life and really thrown them off track, and they find themselves feeling really demotivated. Oh, Michelle, you've just thrown me completely off track by saying you look gorgeous. Thank you. Do you like my t-shirt? I've always wanted one of these. The Charlie makes you ones. Thank you. Anyway, right. Sorry. Where was I? So, hi, Lou. So people have taken a bit of a life hit and thrown them completely off track, and they have lost their confidence, they lost their motivation, they've lost their energy, their zest for life, and they need somebody or something to help them get back on track. And that's where I come in. So one of my loveliest clients has referred to me as a fixer of hearts. She came to me, her marriage had broken down. She'd left a long-term career. Her father had died. She was really struggling. She had incredible overwhelm and anxiety, and she just couldn't see the wood for the trees or where she was going. She said her heart was breaking into pieces. And I helped her fix her heart back together so that she felt that her soul was whole again and she could live a much more enriched life. And that's what I do. And I love that. I love to help people mend their broken hearts, mend their broken lives, and help them go back out into the world to live a much healthier and happier life. So I really help people rediscover their self-esteem. I help them find their confidence, their drive, and they just find real energy and purpose in their life. And I help them navigate their way out of a crisis and find really a life that's much more enriched, much more balanced and happier than it probably ever was before. Now, I do that by using my signature 7-step program. It's called the Heal Yourself Happy methodology. And it's a 7-step methodology that takes you through a holistic cycle through your life, and it takes you on a journey of self-discovery. And it helps you create your own prescription for healing, but your own prescription as well for living and creating a sustainable, healthy and happy life. So that's a little bit about me and what I do. So the hub, I created the hub because I wanted to create a private online community where I could share my coaching tips and my coaching experience for the last 20 years, and to share what I was doing and learning in terms of health and happiness and what I was seeing, and help people on a bigger scale as well. And the community is just such a lovely place for people to come in and share, their feelings, to share what they're going through, if they're having a crisis, if they need somebody to help them celebrate. It's really a warm place where people can come and celebrate what's going on in their life. And it's a place where I wish that I'd had to come and find some safe harbor when I was going through what I was going, and a place to ask questions and find some answers. So the hub is where I hope you will find help you find the tools to feel empowered to make changes, and then feel energized to take action and create a life that's much more enriched, so that you can feel much more enlightened as well about yourself and go on and create your own life. So that is the hub. Hi, Gorge Tiff, thanks for joining me. And thank you for everybody else who's here as well. I'm just gonna have a cup of tea from my dad's mug, which I love. So today's training, as you've all requested, is all about focusing your thoughts and how to be mindful. Now, I've got a bit of a competition, so if you want to be in with the chance of winning a competition, then please do stay on until the end, when I will be announcing what the competition is and how you can enter. Okay, right, so let's get cracking. So this training today is for anybody who is feeling overwhelmed, if they've got overwhelmed with anxiety and thoughts and worries going on around their brain, worries probably about the future, worries about the past, worried about what's going to happen, what may not happen. Is for anybody who's feeling really, really trapped in their mind because it's so overwhelmed with so much stuff in there that you just cannot get out of your head. This is for anybody who is finding it very difficult to focus on anything, even if it's having a conversation, having that difficulty focusing on what people are saying. This is training for anybody who is really struggling to make a decision. If you're really procrastinating, you're not quite sure which way to go, what to do, and how to decide what to actually do, then this training is also for you. So through this training, what I hope and inspire that you will get from this, and I hope you can understand, is that you can live a very different life to that trapped, overwhelmed feeling one, and how different your life could be, and some ideas on how you can take those first steps in order to get there. I don't want to overwhelm you with too much, but I'm going to give you a few ideas that you can potentially start with. So these steps are going to help you feel much more in control and much, much calmer about your current situation. It's going to help you become the master of your mind rather than your mind mastering you and your behaviors and your actions. These techniques are going to help you live in the present as well, and really help you stop procrastinating and make decisions as well. And it's going to help you focus, and it's going to help you be much more productive. So if that sounds like something that you want to feel like and want to live like, then raise your hand and stay on the training with me. So just to talk a little bit about why I feel that so many people are what I originally described in terms of the head and not feeling calm. So there's a bit of a gap there in where you are and where you want to be. And probably quite pertinent that people are asking for this training right now is because what I'm seeing at the moment is that we are living in such incredibly uncertain times. You know, there is nothing really that's really quite concrete, or nothing that's really, really certain. And that can be very, very difficult for our brains. You know, we're living day to day to find out what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what the news is going to be next week. We don't know what's going to happen the next month. We don't know what's going to happen in 6 months. We don't know what's going to happen this time next year. There is so much uncertainty, and we really struggle with that. Our brains, in particular, if we're talking about brains in this, our brains like certainty, because our brains like the security of knowing what is going on. Our brains do not like uncertainty, and it makes us feel insecure. So if you can imagine your brain as a bit of a computer, in order to help it feel secure and in order for it to make it feel certain, it's running the diagnostics. It's going through the what if scenarios, and it's trying to find answers, it's trying to understand everything, and it's trying to find a route through what's going on. So our brain at the moment is in complete and utter overdrive. So it's going through all of those different kind of scenarios, trying to make head nor sense of it. And because our brain is going like that, and it's a perceived threat, then our bodies are going into a stress mode. And that doesn't help our situation. Oh, sorry, that's bang of the door. Where was I? So yeah, we're moving into a stress state. And in that stress state, so our brain in our stress state causes our body to go into a stress state as well. So it's our prehistoric brain, which stems and its functions stem all the way back to prehistoric times. So it starts to think that we're being threatened by a saber-toothed tiger or a tornado. So it starts to change how our bodies work. So first thing it does is it will start to pump adrenaline into your body, because it thinks that you've got to run from a saber-toothed tiger, or you've got to run from the tornado. And when you've got all of that adrenaline pumping through your body, you might find that you're having things like heart palpitations. I've definitely had that. You might also find that you're feeling incredibly vigilant and alert and sensitive. So that's what your body is meant to be doing in a stress state. It's meant to be really, really alert so you can respond quickly. But where we are at the moment, that just means that we're incredibly emotional and incredibly sensitive to anything. And it could be what anybody says or how they act. So we are feeling in a very stressed, hypersensitive, emotional state. So that's where we are right now, and the reasons why. It's because there is so much uncertainty and everybody is questioning everything and trying to make heads or sense of it. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense about what's happening in our bodies and in our brains. And it's okay to feel like that. There are so many people who are feeling like that at the moment. So you are not alone if you're feeling that way. I've been feeling that way too. So how do we move from this very, very stressed emotional state in order to being and getting ourselves out of that stress state? Because being in a stress state is not good for our health or our happiness. And how can we start to create a little bit more certainty? How do we start to create a little bit more control? And how do we slow down that emotional cycle? Well, do you know what, guys? You've already given me the answer. I'm just going to wave goodbye to my son. Hang on. Bye. He's off for his run. So you give me the answer. It's about focusing your thoughts and becoming, understanding what thoughts you want to think and which ones you're going to hold in your brain, but also about living mindfully. So you've chosen the perfect topic for right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through both of those two different topics, and I'm going to give you 3 strategies within each one that you can try. So I hope that sounds okay, and see what you think. So first of all, focusing our thoughts. So our brains think about 50,000 thoughts every single day. And at the moment, probably a lot more than 50,000 thoughts a day. So it's about understanding that and recognizing that, but also recognizing you can only think one thought at the same time. Your brain can only hold one thought at the same time. So you can use that to your advantage. So I love a phrase. How do you eat an elephant? Do you know? It's one bite at a time. So we're going to have to tackle this one step at a time. But how do you work out what that first step is? So it's all about doing a little bit of prioritization. And I know everybody wants everything fixed straight away, but nothing gets fixed straight away. The only way to fix things is by taking one step at a time along the journey. You cannot do it all in one go. And that's where the overwhelm is coming from. The overwhelming thought you can fix everything right now and you have to fix it all right now. Well, I'm here to tell you, you don't, and you probably can't. You have to take one step at a time. So strategy 1 is doing an assessment. You need to do an assessment of what is going on in your life so that you can work out where you want to focus your attention. Where do you want to focus your thoughts? So through my programs, through working with me, either privately or either going through the Heal Yourself Happy Academy, there are tools which help you do that and which will give you a lovely visible result so you can work out exactly where you want to hone in on. So it could be that you might need to focus in on your health. It could be that you need to focus on your sleep. It could be that you need to focus on your relationships. It might be that you need to focus on your work, your business, whatever it is. But you need to work out which one is going to give you the biggest bang for your buck and where do you start now. So I'm going to put a link on using one of those tools. It's called the Heal Yourself Happy Questionnaire, and it will give you a beautiful picture of where you need to focus on first. So you can start to channel your thoughts on what you need to think about and how you can resolve that situation. So watch out for that, and you can take that at any time, and I will send you your results, and then you can start working on that one particular area. So that's strategy 1. In order to help you focus your thoughts. Strategy 2 is all about working out where you want to get to. So, and where you want to get to in terms of what you want to achieve and how you want to feel, both is just as important. So I find that one of the biggest things that when people come to talk to me is that they just do not know where they're headed. They are so focused on what is happening right now or what isn't happening right now and how they are feeling right now. And they aren't looking and shifting about where they want to go. And they're just so head in the sand here. And so what I try and nudge them to do is to try and focus about where they want to achieve. So your thoughts, and you're trapped in your cycle of thoughts. If you can think about, I'm just looking at our car and our drive. You can just imagine you're a car and you're going round and round and round and round and round and round and roundabout because you don't know where you're going. You don't know where to take that exit off. So you've already started to think about where you need to focus on. So that is one thing. That's one way out of that circle and one way out of that route. The second thing is to know where you're headed. You need to plug in a destination. So your car needs to know where it's going. Your brain needs to know where it's going. If you don't know where you're going, it's just going to keep going round and round and round in circles. So this is all about setting a destination and knowing where you want to go. So this is what you need to do. You need to set yourself some goals. Now, some people get very scared about setting goals because they find that they set them and then they don't achieve them and then they feel like they're failing. So it's demotivating sometimes to set goals. But I used to feel that way. And then I found a new way of setting goals. In fact, I found several new ways of setting goals that can make you feel so much more excited and motivated and much more connected with where you want to get to. And I've tried these out with clients and they really, really work. So that's another thing that you can do when you go through my program. So either through my online program, the Heal Yourself Happy Academy, or if you work with me, it's about getting very, very clear on what your goals are in a variety of different ways so that you can feel completely connected and motivated by your goals. So you know where you're going. So when you know where you're going, it does one of two things. Not only do you set your sat nav in your car and you've got that destination and you can drive to it, but you can also decide whether you want to go on a diversion or not. You've got your signposts and you can say, yep, do I want to go to the beach today or not? Yes, I do. I'm going to take that diversion. I might get there a little bit slower, but I'm still going to take that diversion. Or you can actually just say, no, this is where I'm headed. I'm not going that way. So you can start to channel and focus your thoughts because you know where you're going. You don't need to think about taking that detour. You can say, and this is one thing I say to my clients, you can put that in the parking lot. And it's something I've done. Yes, I would really love to do that right now, but this is not what I'm focusing on. This is where I'm headed. So I'm going to have to put that down right now. I can pick it up later, but this is where I'm going. This is where I'm headed. I'm going to put that in the parking lot and come back to it. So you've got signposts, and with signposts, you've also got boundaries. So these boundaries mean that you can start saying no, and you can start saying no with confidence and without procrastinating, because you know where you're going, and you can say, well, that's not going to help me get there. So no, thank you. I'm not going to do that. You've got boundaries. So that can also help the overwhelm in your mind, being able to say no. You don't have to do everything right now. You can put some stuff down and you can keep going, and you can come back and pick it up later. Or you can just put it in the back seat and you can bring it with you, but you don't need to be focusing on it right now. Does that make sense? Does that make sense at all? If you know where you're going, you can start to declutter some of these thoughts. You can put them down and not worry about them. So that was strategy 2. Number 1, do an assessment of where you are right now. What's the one thing you need to do right now? Number 2 is focusing out where you're going. So you're not going round and round and round in circles all the time. You know where you're headed, and you can start to really funnel out all of those thoughts. So the next strategy 3, in terms of focusing your thoughts, is the one that I love, and it comes from a quote by one of my most favorite teachers, Eckhart Tolle, and I'm sure I've used this in trainings before. But Eckhart Tolle says that the cause of your unhappiness isn't necessarily the situation itself, but your thoughts about it. So your overwhelm and your anxiety could be that your thoughts are worrying about something that's happened in the past and you're projecting it into the current, or it's thoughts about the past and you're projecting it into the future, and it may happen, but it might not. So your unhappiness is your thoughts about the situation, not the actual reality. So you need to be a watcher of your thoughts and keep that in mind. Is what you're thinking true? Is it really true? Ask yourself, is it true? Be a watcher of your thoughts. Now, is that thought taking me closer to my destination, or is it taking me away? Is it keeping me on the roundabout, or is it going to help me get off the roundabout? Is this my next bite? So start to become the watcher of your thoughts, and rather than following a thought down a rabbit hole into a dark place like Alice in Wonderland, and I've been there, I've done that. That's what took me into my depression, following that thought down a hill. You can stop yourself and say, no, I don't want to follow that thought. I'm a watcher of my thought. I've looked at that thought. I don't want to think that thought. I'm going to think another thought. I'm going to choose a different thought. I'm going to think something differently. That is your lifeline, so you don't go down the rabbit hole. So does that make sense? If you can become a watcher of your thoughts and choose which thoughts you want to stick with and which ones you want to think, or which ones you want to push aside and get out of your head. So does that make sense? So focusing your thoughts, know which area you need to focus on right now, know where you're headed, because that's going to help you refocus your thoughts, and then become a watcher of your thoughts and know that those thoughts are either going to take or what you want to think right now in order to help you achieve what you want to achieve. I hope that makes sense. Right, I'm just going to take a drink, sorry. So now we're going to move on to being mindful. So I love mindfulness. I believe that mindfulness saved my life. So I believe it's the only way to live, in terms of if you want to live calm, if you want to live happily, it really is. It's what creates the peace around you. It's what creates harmony. It creates peace, all of these lovely things, mindfulness, but it's not a quick fix. And I still learn every single day. And yes, I still shout at my kids and I still get very anxious about everything, but it's a learning practice. And the quicker you can start learning to be mindful and living mindfully, the better that you will start to feel, and the quicker you will feel the results. So being mindful and living mindfully is a really wonderful technique to start to learn. So I'm just going to share with you 3 concepts of mindfulness, because it's a huge topic, but I thought I'd just share with you 3 today. So the first thing that mindfulness does, and being mindful means, is all about connection. It's all about connection with yourself. Now, in my programs and when I work with people, that everybody connects with themselves in very, very different ways. So I help people understand and work in which the best way that people find themselves to connect with themselves is. There are so many different ways, and I share so many of the different techniques within my programs. But it could be journaling, it could be meditation, and it could be any one a plethora of mindfulness techniques and activities that there are out there, but you just need to pick one, and the one that makes you feel the most connected to you. That is living mindfully. It's about living and understanding your feelings and how you're feeling, and allowing yourself that connection every single day, so that you can connect with your feelings, you can connect with your dreams, you can connect with your desires, you can connect with who you really are. It's the most important thing you can do. It's just about the connection with yourself. So that's number one. That's being mindful. It's about being mindful of yourself, that connection of who you really are. The second part of being mindful and living mindfully is all about awareness. This is about awareness of where you are, who you're with, who you're being, how you're acting. This is about awareness of everything around you, not everything that's in your head. When you're living in your head with those thoughts and those worries and those fears, you're not living mindfully. You're living with a mind full of thoughts and worries and fears. What you want to do is you want to bring your awareness out of your head and into everything that's surrounding you. It's about awareness of everything, as I mentioned. It's about being fully present with who you're with and in what you're doing. This is about single tasking. Do you remember we used to be told that you can multitask? Well, it's not about multitasking anymore. It's about being mindful. It's about doing one job at a time. It's about having one tab open at a time on your computer. It's about being with your kids when you're with your kids, not being with your kids and on your phone. It's about cooking when you're cooking. It's about eating when you're eating, walking when you're walking. It's about listening fully and being completely and utterly present in the one thing that you're doing right now. So if you're watching this live training and doing something else, do one or the other. Come and listen to me, or turn me off and come back and find me later. This is about single tasking, because you will find that you will have so much more focus, and that goes back to the thoughts. You will be able to focus so much more, and you will get things done much quicker, and you will feel so much better. But being mindful is all about doing one thing. And unfortunately, phones, I have to turn mine off. Anybody else, it's about turning off your phones every now and again, because they are such a distraction. But just do everything with intention. Do one thing, do that one thing well. Okay, so it's about awareness and being present. So what I meant to say with that one as well, when you're doing one thing, when you're focusing on one thing, that is what's going to bring you calm, because you're just focusing on one thing. You're not trying to put the washing away, do the dinner, send an email, ring your dad, whatever it is. You're doing one thing, When you're trying to spread yourself too thin, that's when anxiety comes in. That's when you get overwhelmed, when you're trying to do too many things at once. So if you need to, write a list of all the things that are on your mind and just tick them off one by one. I have to do that every morning, sit down, all the things in order, not trying to do them all in one go. So single task, really important. Now, the third strategy in being mindful is all about practicing compassion and showing non-judgment. So and I explained a little bit about this in the Finding Moments of Calm yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? It's about showing that compassion and that non-judgment you would with a friend. So show that to yourself and to others in order to create that harmonious feeling within yourself and create that harmonious feeling around you. So it's this showing compassion to yourself is about sitting with yourself in that first point, which is feeling the feelings, and feel those feelings with compassion and without showing yourself any judgment. So just feel the feelings and don't apply any kind of judgment to the emotions that those bring up with you. Just sit with it and feel it and allow it to pass. It's about showing yourself compassion. It's not trying to find the reasons why or anything. It's just allowing. It's about showing compassion. It's about being non-judgmental. And that comes back to being kind of like watching your thoughts, watching your feelings. Just watch yourself and allow yourself to feel. And the minute you allow yourself to feel and you show yourself some compassion and you do it without any judgment, you can often find that the feeling goes. Just give yourself a virtual private hug in your mind. That is about being mindful. Not only to yourself, but if you can show yourself that mindful respect, then it often means that you can show that mindful respect to others. So that perhaps, like Tom yesterday, for example, he was very, very angry, possibly a bit teenagery, but it was about understanding and showing him compassion, because he's in this as well. He doesn't understand. He can't see his mates. He can't go out on his bike, off to the shops. It's about showing others compassion. So if you can show yourself compassion and feel how good that feels, you are more likely then to show others the same. And that can create a lovely sense of calm. And that can also help reduce anxiety, reduce overwhelm, reduce worry as well. So, and soften lots of tensions that are going on at the moment. So there are so many techniques that you can use in order to focus your thoughts and to be mindful. So I've chosen 3 for each, and I hope that those have really helped with you. Try one of any of those. Try not to do them all in one go. Remember, just try one, eat the elephant one bite at a time. Try the one that resonated with you the most. So if you need to focus your thoughts, assess where you are right now and assess what the most important thing that you can do right now is. And you can do that by doing the Heal Yourself Happy questionnaire, which I'll put a link in. So work on where you need to focus first. The other one is assessing where you're going. Where do you want to go? If you're not sure where you're going, then you're going to keep going round and round and round in circles. So work out where you want to go right now. That doesn't mean to say you can't go further after, but work out where you want to go right now. Work out which steps, determine your signposts, determine your boundaries, and then that will help refocus your thinking and your thoughts on where you need to focus your thoughts. And that brings you down to the watcher of your thoughts. Become the watcher of your thoughts so you know which thoughts to think and stay with thinking. Does that make sense? So become a watcher of your thought. Do I really want to think that? Yes or no? Do I really want to go down that thought process? Yes or no? Okay, so those are your 3 steps if you want to focus your thoughts. The next 3 were all about being mindful. So if you want to live a bit more mindfully, then the thing you can do is start to connect with yourself. Really start to give yourself that time to connect with yourself and work out what your thoughts, feelings, desires, dreams are, etc., in a multitude of different ways. The second thing was to be aware. Start to single task. Start to bring yourself into the present moment and focus on one thing at a time. And the last thing was about learning how to be compassionate towards yourself, being non-judgmental. And then when you can do that with others. And that's all about being mindful. So mindfulness and your thoughts are such a huge topic, and it plays in a very, very important part in the programs that I offer to people, whether that be working through the Heal Yourself Academy and my online study, or whether you work with me privately. So I use mindfulness in all of it, in every single area, to really help you connect with yourself. And that's really what my programs do. It's about being mindful of yourself and what you need to do, where you need to go, and what you need to bring into your life in order to create that. So I thought just really briefly now, for those people who are watching this, who are new to the Hub and who have not heard me talk about my Heal Yourself Happy Academy or the Heal Yourself Happy framework, I thought I would really briefly run through that, and then I will tell you all about the competition. So the Heal Yourself Happy Academy and the Heal Yourself Happy methodology is my my signature 7-step framework towards creating health and happiness and your own bespoke, something on my computer, to create your own bespoke prescription for healing and for happiness and for sustainable health and happiness as well. It's a framework that fits for everybody, but you apply it to yourself, to your life, to your situation, to your feelings, to your goals, to your dreams and your desires. So I take you on this journey of self-discovery by going through a 7-step process. Now, the first 3 pillars or steps look at your foundations of health. So really looking at what you eat, how that can support you physically in your body, but also how it can support you mentally. So it's cutting through the crap of all of the different plethora of diets that are out there and working out what works for you and your body and your science experiment. So working out what food works for you to make you feel your healthiest and your happiest. Then we move on to the body. And again, we apply the same sorts of techniques. What is going to make you feel the healthiest and the fittest and the strongest? What exercise, what physical activity does that look like to you, given your circumstances and your capabilities? We create your own bespoke program for physical activity. Then we move on to happy sleep and rest. And once again, it's working out what you need to do in order to get enough sleep, to get the quality sleep and the quality rest in order for you to recover. It's so important. We're living in a sleep epidemic at the moment. And what people don't realize is it's probably one of the biggest and most important things that you can do for your health and also for your healing as well. So really working out what you need and creating those bespoke programs for you for both sleep and for rest and how you find rest the best. So those are, when you've got your first 3 foundational pillars, that can hugely help where you are mentally. So we move on to the happy mind, which we've touched on quite a bit today, but it's looking at really mindfulness in much, much greater detail, all of the different ways that you can practice mindfulness, how you can connect with yourself. But also in this pillar, we also look at your mindset and how you can have a really, really strong mindset and what you're thinking and how you think and understanding that computer in your brain and how it has been programmed and how you potentially need to reprogram it again in order to move forward. So the happy mind is a big meaty module right in the middle here. But mindfulness flows all the way through because it's all about connection. So when you've done the happy mind, then we move on to happy soul, which is really one of my favorite pillars. So it's really looking at what brings you joy. It's about you getting to know you again and to understand what your dreams are, your desires are, what you want your purpose to be, what you want your career to be. Excuse me. It's about you getting to know you, because so many of us forget who we are along the way, whether that's because we're living out somebody else's expectations of our lives or their expectations of us. So this is about allowing yourself and giving yourself permission to work out who you really are and who you want to be in this one lifetime. I love the happy soul. I got given the opportunity to work out who I wanted to be, and it's wonderful when you live that life of this authentic life. So when you've looked at happy soul, we then look at happy connections. And happy connections is all about your relationships, your friendships, your social network, communication styles, how you can make friends and influence people. This is about knowing who you are and then who you need to surround yourself with in order to live the life that you want to live. Really important right now, connections, and how that sense of belonging is a real contributor to your health and your happiness. So we look at that. And then we wrap everything up in the final pillar, which is called the happy life. So the happy life is looking at everything that you've learned in the preceding 6 pillars, and then putting that into a framework that you can implement into your life that makes it sustainable. Also in happy life, we start to look at the future. And I share with you all of the goal setting ideas and how you can understand what your dreams are, really connecting with your dreams and how you can then manifest that life that you really, really want to live. So that's the Heal Yourself Happy Academy. At the moment, it is running as a self-study due to lockdown. Due to lockdown, I used to run it as a group coaching program, but I wanted to make sure that more people could get access to it because of its benefits and could run with it at their own pace in their own time. So I've turned a group coaching program into an online program that you can access right now at any time. Take your own time, take as long as you need. It is a 12-week program with a new module opening up every week for 12 weeks. Now, there are 7 pillars, but that means you get some implementation weeks and some bonus material as well. And you have all of the content for not just the 12 weeks, but forever and a day and however long. So you can revert back to it at any time. Within the program, you get video tutorials by me, you get a workbook explaining a lot of the pillar itself, and you get journaling workbooks as well. So you can actually implement and really get clear on what you're learning and what you're going to do and how you're going to apply it into your life. There are also meditations to help you and recipes as well in every single module. So that is all available for you right now. If you want to start to focus and channel your thoughts and you want a framework in order to do that, then I would strongly recommend that you get involved in the Heal Yourself Happy Academy. And it normally retails for £595 per person, but because it's locked down and I wanted more people to have access to it, I've made it much more affordable. So I moved the decimal point to the left, so it's only £59.50. So it's an absolute steal, and it made my heart stop when I did it. But you can get all of that wonderful material for 12 weeks for less than £60, and you can get it right now. So if you would like access to that, then there is a pinned post in the Heal Yourself Happy Hub at the top, which will give you links to actually access the Heal Yourself Happy Academy and also give you some more. But if you cannot find it, then please leave me a comment, send me a direct message, or email me directly at Ali, which is ALI, at heal-yourself-happy.com, and I will happily point you in the right direction. So that is the Heal Yourself Happy Academy online program. If you would rather work with me privately, then I have only one space. I only work with 5 private clients at any one time because I like to give everybody my full attention and as much attention as possible in order to help them through their healing and also to get through their transformation. So I only work with 5 people and I have one space left. So if you would like that space, then please just email me directly at the email Ali at heal-yourself-happy.com. And I'm happy to discuss how I can help you. Right, so now competition time. So you might have seen earlier that I did my first ever book reading because I've had my first ever chapter in print. I was contacted and asked if I would contribute a chapter to a book called How to Be Happy. And I submitted my chapter and they have used it as the very first chapter in the book, but also used it to promote their book. So I'm very, very proud of this, and it turned up on my doorstep today. So I've got a box of books. So for the next 2 people who sign up to the Heal Yourself Happy Academy, I will send you a free copy of my book. So all you need to do is sign up to the Heal Yourself Happy Self study, and I will send you a book in the post. The next 2 people who do that, this book will be winging its way to you. So that is a wrap for today. I hope that that has really helped you. Please do leave me a heart, leave me a comment, and let me know if you're going to be using some of those techniques and if they've really helped you, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching a replay. It's been an absolute pleasure to share these with you. If you've got any questions, please do ask me now. I never know whether I can see these things or not. So, oh, there's loads of comments. Oh no, I'm so sorry, I've missed them all. They don't ping up when I'm speaking. So please, if you've got a question, I know there's a few seconds delay, and I'm just quickly scroll back and see the comments that I haven't seen pop up at all. So please do let me know. Oh, Naomi, well, Naomi went and she disappeared. She wasn't fully focused. So if you've got any questions, please just ping them over now. Whether you're watching this live, I will answer them in 15 seconds when it pops up. Or if you're watching this on a replay, also please do leave a question, because I monitor it and I will come back to you. Rebecca says, boundaries were a massive part of my life coaching journey. Boundaries are so important. You've got to understand whether to say yes or no to, because that's where your overwhelm comes, if you think you have to say yes to everything. Hi, Deborah, thank you for joining. Oh, Becca, thank you so much. My pleasure. Gosh, there's a lot of people watching today, and I'm so sorry I didn't see you. I'm so sorry. I don't know why the comments don't come up when I'm talking. Oh, Claire, thank you. Brilliant analogy. Yes, thank you very much. So well done, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Please do get in touch if I can help you at all. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. It's my husband's birthday tomorrow. I've got a couple of surprises that I need to go and sort out for him right now, so that's what I'm off to do. And I will look, and first of all, I need to go and do Finding Moments of Calm, don't I? So I'm going to go and do that. So give me 5 minutes and I will be back on to do our moments of calm in amongst the chaos. Wishing you all a really magical weekend. Hope you're keeping safe, hope you're keeping well. Lots of love. Bye.